This is a beaver, and these guys have a hard time ignoring running water. When they hear water moving through a gap, they start filling it. They cut branches, drag them into the water, and pack them together with mud, stones, and plants. If water keeps passing through, they keep adding more. And they have the right teeth for the job. Beaver incisors never stop growing, so they spend a lot of time chewing wood. Some branches become food, some become building material. And any tree growing close to the water has a chance of becoming both. Beavers also have no idea which trees humans care about. A fruit tree, an expensive garden tree, or one planted in someone's memory is just another tree to them. Over a few nights, they can strip away the bark, badly damage the trunk, or cut the whole thing down. Even so, beavers can't control which way a tree falls, and some have even been killed by falling trees.
What?
But beavers don't always cut a tree down. Sometimes they gnaw their way around the trunk, stripping off the bark and the living tissue underneath. This inner layer carries sugars made by the leaves down to the roots. If the beavers remove it all the way around, the roots slowly run out of food, and the tree can die while it is still standing. Beavers are mostly active at night, so people often find the tooth marks, wood chips, or fallen trees before realizing that a family of beavers has already moved into the neighborhood. Yep, beavers usually live in family groups made up of 2 adults and their young. So the animal cutting branches tonight may have several relatives living nearby. Beavers build dams to create deeper and calmer water around their homes. This lets them swim away from predators, move food through the water, and reach their lodge without spending too much time on land. But the problem is that they don't only build across natural streams. People often build culverts under roads so streams and drainage water can pass beneath them. If beavers find one, they may pack branches around the entrance until the water slows down. Once they block it, the water backs up and can flood roads, fields, and nearby property. Then, people have to clear the branches, open the culvert, and get the water moving again.
Oh.
And what do the beavers do? Well, they hear running water again. So they come back, collect more branches, and start building again. People remove the dam, the beavers rebuild it, and somehow the animal armed with sticks keeps winning. These tiny volcano-shaped creatures are barnacles. When a barnacle first hatches, it looks nothing like the tiny volcano it will be. It is a small swimming larva that drifts through the water, eats plankton, and molts several times as it grows. After its final molt, it enters a stage called the cyprid. From this point on, it stops eating and survives entirely on stored energy. Its only job is to find a permanent home before energy runs out. But unfortunately for humans, the bottom of a ship can be a pretty good one. When the young barnacle reaches the hull, it uses a pair of antennae to crawl across the surface and inspect different spots. Once it finds one it likes, it presses its head against the ship and releases a powerful natural cement. And that is where its swimming life ends. The barnacle changes shape, grows hard plates around its body, and starts sweeping food from the water with its feathery legs. From then on, the ship carries it everywhere. One tiny passenger wouldn't cause much trouble. But while this barnacle is growing, thousands of other larvae are inspecting the same hull, looking for a permanent home of their own. Algae, microorganisms, and other small animals settle around them too. Soon, the smooth hull starts turning into a rough living surface. That roughness creates drag, so the engines have to burn more fuel to keep the ship moving. On top of that, barnacles and other fouling organisms can attach inside grooves, around propellers, and near water intakes. These areas are harder to inspect, harder to reach, and far more annoying to clean. Even though removing them is difficult and much of the work still has to be done by hand, people have to scrape them off anyway. Once a patch is clean, new barnacle larvae can settle there, and this happens again and again. Humans even developed a powerful anti-fouling chemical called TBT. It worked extremely well, but it also caused serious harm to other marine life. It deformed oyster shells and disrupted sexual development in some sea snails. The chemical caused so much damage that it was eventually banned. And if barnacles remain on a ship, they can travel across the ocean and reach ports where they never lived before. Some settle there, spread to docks, boats, and aquaculture equipment, and leave local industries with even more surfaces to clean. So people scrape them off and repaint the hull again and again. After centuries of fighting barnacles, humans still haven't found a way to keep them off for good. These heavy-bodied animals with coarse hair and sharp tusks are wild hogs. And although they look bulky, they can run it up to 30 miles an hour.
What?
They also have powerful snouts made for digging. A wild hog can turn over the soil to reach roots, seeds, insects, and almost anything else it can eat. And unfortunately for farmers, a freshly planted field is a pretty good place to find food. Wild hogs dig along the crop rows and eat the seeds buried in the soil. They can keep moving down the rows until the seeds are gone. While searching for food, the hogs tear through the soil and trample young plants. They also roll in mud to cool themselves and cover their skin, leaving large wallows behind. By morning, the field may be covered in holes and mounds, sometimes rough enough to make driving farm machinery through it difficult. Wild hogs aren't picky about what they eat. Once the seeds are gone, they can move on to fruit, insects, small animals, carrion, or whatever they can pull from human garbage. When you see one wild hog, there may already be a whole group rooting through the area nearby. These family groups are called sounders, and they're made up of adult females and their young. Adult males usually live alone and mainly join them to breed. To remove them, people bait a large corral trap and wait for the entire sounder to enter. They need to catch all of them at once, because any hogs that escape may be much harder to catch the next time. Even a few females getting away may be enough for the group to grow back quickly. Yep, a female can have up to 2 litters a year, with 4 to 12 piglets in each one. By the time people find them again, the hogs they missed may already have produced another generation. On top of that, wild hogs are showing up in neighborhoods more often, drawn by garbage and food left behind by people. Some eventually lose their fear of humans, but if people chase one, it may charge, knock someone down, or cut them with its tusks. Even a small wild hog can cause serious injuries or a traffic accident. Even worse, in some places, people caught wild hogs, moved them into new areas, and released them so they would have something to hunt. The hogs then bred, formed new sounders, and spread from there. Now people have to spend years and a lot of money setting traps, repairing the damage, and trying to remove the descendants of hogs humans released there in the first place. Thank you for watching my video, and as always, I love you guys.